Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander Scores studio. Welcome to the show. So there is a brand new Samwise Commander that will be coming out when the actual set comes out for Lord of the Rings, which I think isn't until June. But again, Wizards is like, hey, early spoiler season, first look, whatever we're calling it. Regardless, with this new commander, there is one question that is on my mind, and that is, how do you like your taters? Just kidding. Yeah, potato, boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew, you know, all those things. Yeah, great. Anyways, okay, no, the actual question that's on my mind is, my goodness, there has got to be a way to break this, right? There has got to be a way to break this. It seems so simple and straightforward, and it's kind of like another card that comes to my mind. Let's jump into the card, and hopefully you can help me out in the comments, figure out exactly how we're going to break Samwise the Stouthearted, a 2/1 halfling peasant that has flash, that costs 1 and a white, and says, when it enters the battlefield, choose up to one target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn, return to your hand, then the ring tempts you. Now, I will mention with that last part, we have seen on the new Frodo card, at least one of the new Frodo cards. I think we've only seen one Frodo so far, right? Anyways, what the ring tempting you can do, there can be a certain requirement of the number of times a ring can tempt you, or the ring can tempt you. I'm sure there's going to be other cards that interact with whenever you're tempted by the ring, and maybe some triggers that from that. But yes, we do not know the exact extent of that just yet. We have not gotten enough, details on the mechanic or whatnot. So that aside, and that is very interesting, but that aside, entering the battlefield and bringing back any permanent from your graveyard back to your hand, that seems like a pretty interesting thing to have on a commander. And again, it's something that I just think there has got to be a way to absolutely break this. And yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of cards in mind on ways to get a ton of value out of this, and this is definitely a value-centric commander. But please, 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 if you know how you would break this open, please comment below and let me know how exactly you would do it, because it is absolutely killing me not knowing. Regardless, with this commander, like the other commanders in quick takes that I've been bringing up lately, hey, I'm going to take you through some budget buys, cards that are less than $1 within my budget that I'm going to be considering for this commander. Also, some pricier picks as well, cards that are outside of my budget that you should be considering as well if you want to spend some money on those pricier picks. Regardless, if you are excited about this commander, make sure you check out that link in the description below and consider picking up some of the cards sooner rather than later, because when new exciting commanders like this one are spoiled, even though it's a long time until this one actually comes out, sometimes cards that work well with it tend to go up in price sooner than later. So yeah, with all that said, let's jump into the budget buys. Now, some of the first cards that came to my mind are ones that have a lot of potential. Karmic Guide, a very powerful ATB, enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it does have an echo cost, so yeah, if you don't pay that, it has to be sacrificed, which actually, again, can be a good thing, so you can get it back to your hand with your commander. So there's got to be something there with this one, and actually we'll talk about that with Revelark, because that actually does combo with Revelark. We'll talk about that here in a bit, but yeah, Sun Titan, another way to get creatures or, other kinds of permanents back on ETB, on attack trigger. This is going to bring back permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then Revelark, when it leaves the battlefield, you return up to 2 target creature cards with power 2 less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So again, your commander, Karmic Guide as well, which it does combo with, and a sacrifice out as well. But yeah, your commander does have 2 power, so it is something that you can get back with this. So yeah, this is just kind of a, churning through creature kind of, strategy, essentially. Hey, creatures go to your graveyard, you get them back out, you get them, with an ETB, you probably have other benefits for them being sacrificed or going to your graveyard or getting back out. There's just a lot of value that can be had, and these are definitely some pieces that can be very key in a deck like this. And another kind of value-centric effect that we can talk about is blinking. Well, blinking in various ways, I should say, because like Fiend Hunter is kind of like a way to blink. It has, when it enters the battlefield, to be exiled another target creature. So that creature is exiled, gone away, and that can be our commander that we do that to. And then when Fiend Hunter leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So then, hey, it's kind of like a temporary exile that it's going to be brought back. So if we've got a way to maybe sacrifice this Fiend Hunter, we can say, okay, our commander's gone, now it's back. And our commander can actually get the Fiend Hunter for us back into our hand. with that ETB trigger. So that is a possibility. Restoration Angel. Hey, kind of, circumventing the process of having to sacrifice. This is just an enter the battlefield, blink target non-angel creature. So again, you can use and abuse ETBs like this. And again, it doesn't have to just be our commander's ETB. I mean, if you've got Sun Titan on the battlefield, sure, blink that, get something else back with that. Or how about Teshar, Ancestor's Apostle? This one says, whenever you cast a historic spell, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Again, our commander meets that requirement. It is a historic spell being legendary. And yeah, it also meets the requirement on the other end too, that if it's in our graveyard, we can get it back when we're casting, again, either an artifact, legendary, or a saga if we're using those as well. And speaking of an artifact, yeah, Voyager Staff, a great blink effect, and this one on a permanent that we can sacrifice, pay 2, sack it, go get target creature, and exile it, bring it back at the end step, and yeah, we do that, again, to our commander. Our commander is going to get that ETB trigger. You can see Voyager Staff in the graveyard then, get it back to our hand, and yeah, we can just do it again, if we really need to, again, because we have plenty of ways to take advantage of, again, probably creatures leaving, creatures coming back. Blessed Sanctuary is one of the great ones. Whenever a non-token creature is battlefield under control, you get a 2/2 white unicorn creature token, and this in combination with certain sacrifice outlets can be incredible, and I'm sure there's some broken things that you can do there. We'll talk about some of those sacrifice outlets maybe here in a bit in the pricier picks, but still, there are some really good sacrifice outlets, even in the budget buys as well, like Fanatical Devotion. I absolutely love this card. Sacrifice a creature, regenerate target creature. So, yeah, again, we can utilize our creatures in fantastic ways. Again, there are certain ones that can get things back from our graveyard, like, our Commander, or Karmic Guide, or Revelark, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, we can sacrifice, them, or some other creature that we want to utilize the ETB of, and get it back with another effect. So, yeah, this is definitely a way that we can utilize our creatures to their highest value. Now, when it comes to the pricier picks, one of the cards that came to my mind that could be pretty good with this commander, and that, well, again, there's got to be some sort of a combo involved or something that you can do with, like a Jeweled Lotus. I mean, probably Jeweled Lotus plus like Teshar plus this commander and a sacrifice outlet could probably work, or something along those lines, right? Tap Sacrifice Jeweled Lotus at 3 mana of any one color, so this may allow you to cast your commander. Yeah, cool. You can actually just, actually, do you even need that? I don't know. Yeah, you do. But it's a very, very, very good card in certain strategies. Very bad in certain ones as well. But yeah, you can keep getting it back with this commander, so that could be a very powerful thing. Ashdod's Altar, again, a sacrifice outlet that is incredible and can definitely lead to some very broken play. Sacrifice a creature, colors to your mana pool. Yeah, just sacrifice a creature, get 2 mana back. Again, there are ways to get creatures, here, there, and everywhere, into your graveyard, back out of your graveyard. Sacrificing creatures can actually be a good thing, especially for this kind of a strategy. And getting creatures into play and abusing their ETBs can be great as well, like Panharmonicon. Hey, if an artifact or creature in the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, triggers additional time. Basically, double up every single one of your ETBs. And yes, that includes your commanders. We can also make the most out of our spells, like our commander, though, with cards like Pearl Medallion, Oketra's Monument, and Cathar's Crusade. Pearl Medallion, white spells cost you 1 less to cast. Nice! So, essentially, hey, our commander now just costs a single mana. Again, we're going to have ways to bring it back to our hand and ways to recast it. And yeah, just a lot of extra value to be had. Speaking of which, Oketra's Monument, white creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So again, reduce our commander's cost to just a single mana. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you make a 1/1 white warrior creature token with Vigilance. We can actually net mana, or at least, make a lot of mana with something like this. Again, in combination with like an Ashdod's Altar, that can get pretty gross. Or, if we're just going with a go wide strategy, making a bunch of tokens, maybe some ETBs, Cathar's Crusade can really come in handy as well. Whenever a creature is battlefield under control, get a counter each creature you control. Keep in mind, again, our commander does have flash, so we can utilize it in very sneaky ways, again, to utilize ETBs like this, as a combat trick in a way if our opponents block, and they think they're blocking efficiently and effectively, and they were like, flash in, extra counter on my creatures, goodbye. So yeah, this commander has a decent amount of versatility when it comes to things like that. And of course, with these pricier picks, we've got some pricier ways to blink our commander and our other creatures that have fantastic ETBs. Conjure's Closet, beginning of your end step, blink a creature you control, bring it right back. Teleportation Circle, do the exact same thing essentially, but with an artifact or a creature. Yeah, repeatable effects like this can be huge in using and abusing ETBs. I mean, just think about like Karmic Guide plus one of these, plus a Panharmonicon. Gross. Feldar Guardian. Yeah, this card is in a couple of combos out there, but yeah. Enters the battlefield, exile on target permanent you control, return to the battlefield, under its owner's control. Another great way to use and abuse ETBs quite early, quite effective, quite often. yeah, I mean, even a simple Cloud Shift can be very good in a deck like this. I mean, Ephemerate, the list can go on and on and on of all the different great blink effects that you have access to in a mono-white deck. And again, you can utilize your commander's ETB, your other creatures' ETBs. There are plenty of ETBs to go around. And let's just see if I can keep saying ETB more. I've said this a million times in this minute, but yeah. Again, just reading this commander's text made me think there has got to be a way to break this open, especially, I guess, once we see kind of what that ring mechanic does. You know, again, how is this, ring tempting you mechanic going to interact with other cards? Are there going to be certain triggers that happen when, the ring tempts you? Are there going to be certain, requirements that are met? Hey, if the ring tempts you 10 times, this happens or whatnot. There are definitely ways to use and abuse this a lot in this deck. I mean, and also, of course, ways to really take advantage of that trigger of bringing something back to your hand. A lot of powerful effects that this can interact with. And again, I just have to think there's some way to break this. So please, 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 in the comments below, let me know if you figured it out. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. And of course, well, make sure that, you check out that card list link in the description below if you are interested in this commander, because again, sometimes prices go up for cards that work well with a new commander, even if it doesn't come out for 2 or 3 months or whatever. Yeah, I think it comes out in June. So yeah, make sure you check that out. And also make sure you're staying tuned for even more exciting quick takes and spoilers coming up. And with that, today's episode is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are on it. And of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.